going on YouTube? So it's been a really long time since the last video, and as you can see, the Civic's not in here anymore. We have the Z in here now. And being that it's been 6 months, a lot of things have happened. I have kind of good excuse, not really, for not posting any videos. One reason is I actually broke my hand, like my pinky. You can't really see it anymore, but it's kind of crooked there. Smacked a wall, broke my pinky knuckle. Couldn't really work on anything for quite a while, so there was that. After I recovered with that, I was doing okay, working on things, was able to do a little bit on this guy. But then as I was getting the engine out of this, another mishap happened, and well, I accidentally ended up breaking my collarbone here. I'm still kind of recovering from that, but I'm well enough to where I can kind of move around, use my arm again a little bit. Sorry, holding the camera really close there. So yeah, again, here's the Z as it sits. Sold the engine, got the Suburban, parted out a lot of the Suburban, actually made all my money back. Got the engine for free. It's resting in the Z right now. It's still got the stock oil pan, so the oil pan is just kind of sitting on the cross member. Once I get the front sump in, it will drop down like 6 inches and it'll sit a lot better in here. Also waiting on the adapter plate for the transmission. We are going to be using the stock CD00A or CD009. I believe it's all the same bolt pattern. The CD00A transmission is the earlier one that is a little bit weaker though. But I mean, it's a stock Gen 3 5.3, so it's not really making too much more power than stock anyway. Maybe a little bit, but not a whole lot. Once the cam and everything else, possibly boost, goes on, it might make some power. So yes, Civic is no longer in here, as you saw in the last video that was, what, 6-7 months ago now. The Civic is running. We did have a couple more problems with it. Long story short, it ended up running. I'll throw some clips in here. Civic's taken apart. We got the head completely off, and there is no more pistons and rods. This built block is no longer built. It's now over here. We have yet another built engine. Using the same pistons and rods as the last build. It ate up, here, this guy, you can see this rod bearing on number 1 cylinder got completely destroyed, squished out. It's just all kinds of bad. The rod itself looked okay, so I went ahead and reused it. It's now in this block with the new crank. The old crank is scored up a little bit on the number 1. Ooh, focus. Focus, come on. Yeah, you can kind of see some scoring, but yeah, it's not focusing on the journals. But anyway, that one's kind of clear. That one you can see some lines on it. But yeah, so we went ahead and slapped together another H22, forged pistons and rods, same head that we've been using. We did have one of the cam caps was broken on the previous setup right here. So we do have a whole other H22 head that we literally just stole that one cam cap from. But we have everything now to make another H22. It's just gonna be a stock one. So anyway, this is getting slapped back in because it was knocking last time I drove it, all due to that rod as you saw there. So this is getting slapped back together, but today's mission is the Z actually. So we have parts of a Z here, all the front end parts, because the stock engine is finally coming out. We're doing an LS swap in this guy. So I mean, it ran and drove. The only thing is, like, it starts when it wants to, and then it stalls out randomly. So the only code it's got is a crank sensor code. I've swapped out the crank sensor. It's still doing it, and at this point, I'm just done with the car. I don't care anymore. So somebody's on their way now to come pick up the engine for the Z, and we're gonna be swapping an LS in there. So we're gonna be retaining the factory transmission. We're gonna try to keep the shift point and everything else the same. So we're gonna be fabbing up our own mounts and all that. All the AC sadly is gonna be going, so no more AC. Sucks, but is what it is. And yeah, But yeah, so the Civic is gone now. We traded it for an LS swapped El Camino. I'll throw pictures and some videos up. That's it. It's going away. It's been a long ride since with this car, but finally gone. I'm gonna miss it. But that El Camino was giving us problems as well, and I'll tell you more about all that later. We still have some Honda stuff though. As you can see, there's an H22 on the stand right here, complete, and we also have this Accord sitting over here. So we're not completely done with Hondas, or H22s for that matter, because this Accord still has an H22. So we're not going too far away. We also have a single cam engine over here, D16Y7 block with the Y8 head. So it does have VTEC. Oh, get over here. There it is. This one had Speed Factory rods, Vitara pistons. Blew up because the exhaust is super kicked back here. You can kind of see, but it's like very, very narrow. And so that just caused EGTs to go through the roof, and it didn't like it. So that's gonna get rebuilt eventually with a different turbo setup. And yeah, well, more about that later as well. We do have a little spider going right here. Whoa. Alright, so we're gonna go around. So as I said, we had the LS swapped El Camino. We got it kind of sort of running, not really. And we got it running really good. It was my daily. Some mishaps happened to that. We'll get into that shortly. And then here's the new daily. It is a G35 sedan. As you can see, it's got some wheels on the front here. We do have the matching pair for the rear. They're just in the trunk. I took this thing out to the compound and I've messed it up already. I'm hating myself for it, but it is what it is. You can see it's lowered. It is lowered on BC Racing coils, and you can see a little something sneaky right here. So we'll talk more about that here soon. Let's unlock it. It does have an aftermarket alarm system, so there is that. 6-speed manual. Ignore the little tears in the driver's seat here, but we'll pop the trunk for you. Get a nice view. See, there's the matching wheels. I told you we have them. They're here. They're a lot wider than the fronts. I don't know how wide. It's got a sound system, ugly wiring. We do have to fix that up. But yeah, on to the goods. Pop the hood. Get over here. Oh, look at that guy. Got a little turbo. So we do have a Turbonetics turbo kit in the G35 sedan here. Oil catch can. There is an oil cooler up in the front. BC Racing coils, like I said. It does also have a Megan Racing subframe, or not subframe, differential brace, as well as a Megan Racing single exit or dual tip single exit exhaust. Sounds really good. I'll go ahead and start it up for you. Ice cold AC. Another really cool thing here is, hopefully the boat doesn't squeak. It does sometimes, but 63,000 miles. Look at that. Freaking nice. So here we have our oil pressure gauge. We have our voltage gauge. Up here we have our boost gauge and our wideband. Check engine light is on because of O2 sensors. It does have widebands in place of the factory O2 sensors, so it kind of freaks out because of that. But yeah, AC is working. 4 seats, 4 doors. We do need some tint and other things like that. But we'll go ahead and go on a drive and speak more about what's been going on, basically.